Okay everyone, today is a very special video. We are here at Exclusive Automotive Group taking a look at the Koenigsegg Jesko and Gemera. These are two extreme mega cars, as Koenigsegg calls them, both well over 1,000 horsepower right here. And these are two extremely special cars, guys. This is going to be a really great video. Let's get into it.
Huge shout out to Exclusive Automotive Group at Tyson's Corner just outside of DC for hosting this showcase today. If you're in need of an Aston Martin or a Bentley and you live in the DC area, check out their website in the description below. Let's get into it.
Okay guys, here we are taking a look at the Koenigsegg Jesko. This car looks like the Batmobile. Let's take a look at it.
Under the hood of the Jesko, you will find a 5-liter V8, which happens to be the lightest production V8 in the world. This engine has an air compressor system which can pre-spool the turbos. This is going to give you about 1,280 horsepower on standard gasoline and about 1,600 horsepower on E85 biofuel. The Jesko has a 9-speed light-speed transmission. This system is revolutionary in that it allows the driver to jump from any gear. So if you are in 4th gear, say, you can instantly jump to 7th gear, skipping the gears in the middle. When producing the Jesko, one of the things at the forefront of their mind was having a very good aerodynamic system. This aero specifically can produce about 2,200 pounds of downforce. If you look at the front of the car, you'll notice just how large this front splitter is. In fact, it's the largest on any Koenigsegg, and it has active aero built into it. As we move along to the side of the Jesko, I do want to take a moment to talk about the carbon fiber monocoque chassis. What this does is it gives the vehicle an extremely stiff feeling. This also has fully adjustable dampening, and with all the downforce it has, they need to have an additional dampener in the front. This vehicle also had a tendency to squat, which is basically when the rear of the vehicle is scraping the ground on acceleration. So they had to have 3 dampeners in the rear. Of course, one thing that stands out about the rear of the Jesko is the very unique looking mounted aero system. Jake pointed out he thinks this looks kind of like the Batmobile. Some other cool features about the Jesko are of course the synchro helix doors, which are a commonplace on almost all Koenigsegg's. And it also has a removable carbon fiber roof, so if you want to let some extra sunlight in, go ahead.
And as if it wasn't apparent enough, I just want to draw your attention to the rear of the Jesko, which really puts on display the intricacy of these cars. You can see all these different folds and layers to the rear of this vehicle, that center mounted exhaust, those beautiful taillights, and the badge for the Jesko and the Jesko Absolute with the Swedish flag. It all comes together in a really complex piece of art. That's the best way to describe these cars. They really are works of art.
Here we are looking into the interior of the Gemera. This is Koenigsegg's first 4-seater vehicle, and if you just look at this inside, you can see that absolutely stunning yellow color.
In the Gemera, you're going to find a 3-cylinder engine. Yes, powering this beast is just 3 cylinders. But that's not the full story. This 3-cylinder engine is paired with 3 electric motors, one for each rear wheel producing 500 horsepower, and there's an additional motor producing 400 horsepower for the front wheels. Combine that with the power from the 3-cylinder combustion engine, and the total output is around 1,700 horsepower. You can expect to get around 1,000 kilometers of range or 630 miles total range from this vehicle, and it can even run in an EV only mode for a short distance. Perhaps even more unorthodox than the engine choice in this vehicle is what is called the and I hope I'm saying this right, hydrocoup system. It essentially acts like a torque converter, except it's using fluid to transmit mechanical power and has the ability to open and close. And the advantage of this is there's not going to be any gear hunting or shifting. You just have a direct connection between the engine and the rear wheels. Now, just like the Jesko, the Gemera has a carbon fiber monocoque that's going to allow the vehicle to be a lot more stiff, and it's also going to keep the occupants safe, and it's going to give just a really direct driving feel. You're also getting active rear wheel steering, which is going to allow you to take more steady turns at high speeds, and it's going to allow you to have sharper turns at slower speeds. Now, I want to talk about the Gemera's doors. First of all, you'll notice that there are no mirrors, just cameras which display an image directly on the screens on the sides of the vehicle. This is going to give you better aerodynamics and a more sleek look. Also, just the size of the doors, they are absolutely massive. It's one door for both the front and rear passengers. And you'll also notice that there's actually room for rear passengers in this vehicle. I mean, they are not an afterthought. For the rear passengers, they get a large screen just like the one up front that can display a variety of vehicle metrics. On top of that, they get 4 cup holders back there, and you'll see that they also have glass breakers. If you look at that rear pillar, you will see there's a glass breaker in there for the rear passengers. All the seats are single pieces of carbon fiber. This keeps them thin. That's going to increase legroom and room within the vehicle. I'd assume it saves some weight as well. And the seats have like these pads on them. It's a very unusual design from what we have seen. I did not sit in the vehicle, so I can't tell you about the comfort. It doesn't look the most comfortable to me, but to be honest, in this car you're probably having so much fun you don't even really care. On the subject of the Gemera's interior, I actually want to touch on just the absurd amount of screens on that interior. You can see that as a driver you have 4 screens. 2 of them are acting as your mirrors, and then you have one screen which is mounted to the steering column, and then your main screen right in the middle. Lots of technology in this vehicle. One other cool little tech fact is that the speaker, when the car is on, is actually magnetically levitating. It's a really neat feature and just kind of shows the design and futurism of this vehicle. In the Gemera, there's actually 2 additional screens on your steering wheel. You can see there where your thumbs would go. Those screens are going to change depending on what function the car is trying to achieve. So this is really interesting. A lot of cars have adaptive buttons that maybe light up or don't light up, but this is the first I've seen an entire screen used. The steering wheel also really emphasizes the yellow. I mean, this is a brilliant yellow, and it really matches the gray of this car fantastically, and it really pops on that squared off carbon fiber steering wheel. The wheels on both of these vehicles are very impressive, but what I want to take a note of is the material, carbon fiber, of course, but if you look at the rear wheels on the Jesko, you'll notice they're almost completely covered. That's very different from the intricate wheels up front. Having this design, it's similar to McLaren Speedtail. You're essentially eliminating a bit of drag, and it helps the aerodynamics of the vehicle. Just to get an idea of how big of a role aero plays in both of these cars, take a look at these vents right here on the side of the Jesko. They're just absolutely massive. There are vents in the back, vents in the front. It all creates just this cohesive design. The designers really worked the aerodynamics into the bodywork beautifully. It doesn't look like these cars were made for the sole purpose of aerodynamics. They really have that unique Koenigsegg look to them as well. They did an A+ job here. What is so crazy about these vehicles is the sheer numbers. The Gemera does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, the Jesko only weighs a smidge over 3,000 pounds, and Koenigsegg claims it can hit over 300 miles per hour in their simulations. But of course the most staggering number is price. $1.7 million for the Gemera, and the Jesko is a cool $2.8 million. Before options.
Alright guys, this has been a very special day. The Koenigsegg Jesko, the Koenigsegg Gemera, 2 extremely just out there vehicles, pushing the boundaries of technology and the boundaries of speed. If you're looking for a Koenigsegg, be sure to check out Exclusive Motorsports. And actually, this is a Gas Guzzler car review, so I guess we have to tell you all if we recommend the cars. if you have $2.8 million around, we highly suggest either of them. Especially if you have a family, you know the Gemera is great. If you want more of the weekend cruiser, well, the Jesko's for you. Guys, a huge thanks to you all. It's because of you all that we get to do this. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're liking this video, and we'll see you next week. Take care.